So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Z4 Games and I'm bringing to you guys a deck for a card that's been requested by our fan by the name of Wes Harvey, so shout outs to you buddy. It's requested us to do a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. So he didn't request a particular build, so I've gone with the build that I'm currently playing, and a build that partially I believe is the best way to play Blue Eyes, just because the power that it can just pump up, along with the problems that it can give to your opponents, even including problems for decks like the Spiral deck at the moment that's going rampant at the current of making this video. I've gone with a Chaos Max variant, but I've also done a hybrid variant as well with Thunder Dragons. So this is my Blue Eyes Chaos Thunder, as you could probably call it. But this is essentially a Chaos Max build for the most part, but incorporates a Thunder engine just to add a bit of consistency, bodies on the board, and can do some pretty nice combo plays with the Blue Eyes. This is probably what Kyra would play. There's also some really fun spicy text in here that I'll get to in a minute that has some sort of simple logic, but logic nonetheless. So, starting off with 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. You're gonna have the standard Blue Eyes in the deck. I do love this artwork. I think it's probably become one of my favorites, with the OG structure deck, OG starter deck being my second favorite. So there's that. I'm putting 3 copies of alternative as well. I know alternatives once per turn, but I just like to have the target's consistency for melody, as well as just having a free monster to summon the board that has a 3k body that can pop a monster on the board, making room for your Chaos Max to swing in for some direct damage. There is one other engine I would probably play instead of the Thunder engine, and that is a Nightmare engine. So the Nightmare engine consists of 3 Nightmare Iblis, Nightmare Corrupted Iblis, and 3 copies of Signet Mining. Because you would normal the Iblis, link it away for a Lingering Bow. Lingering Bow is important as well. And then that way, Iblis will go into your opponent's field in defense mode. You make your Chaos Max and swing in for 8k damage since Iblis has 0 defense. Then you also have the Lingering Bow there on the field, so that Lingering Bow, if they activate a trap, you can just trip it Lingering Bow and negate it. So that combo has just become a lot better since Lingering Bow's come out, because it gives you a good target to make for it. Back in the day, it was the Nightmare Mermaid that you'd make. And then I was going to like Link Disciple since Mermaid got banned. But going off that tangent is the 3 copies of Chaos Max. You're going to have Chaos Max in a Chaos Max variant. I don't have the Chaos Dragon. I don't have it. It's too expensive for what it is. So I'm just going literally with the Chaos Max as my only ritual target. Targets for my 3 Mandrews. I have 4 main normal summons in the deck, but you could add 3 additional ones if you want to. That is the 3 copies of Mandrew and the 1 copy of Keeper of Dragon Magic. I still love the Blue Eyes Fusions. I think the Blue Eyes Fusions are what Blue Eyes should be focusing on if Blue Eyes had their own fusion spell, because the fusions are just absolutely phenomenal for what they are. I mean, Ultimate Alternative is just an absolute beast of a board wiper, and Near Ultimate is just perfect for like just OTKs. And even Twin Dragon is very good as well for what it is, being able to just move anything on the board essentially. And I feel like if Blue Eyes had its own fusion spell, they'd just be a really good fusion deck. But we're using Keeper to just search the vanilla poly and just get more cards on the board. The other 3 normal summons in here are the 3 Sage of Eyes of Blue. There is no targets in here for Sage. Sage is literally here for its discard effect. The discard effect combos very nicely and simplistically with my Thunder engine. So I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But Sage is just really used just for that purpose alone, other than also just being a level 1 tuner to go into a synchro phase if you want to do that as well. being able to go for Thunder Dragons, just get a body on the board, and then go for Sage to send that to grave and get a Blue Eyes on the field. While also, if you haven't used it already, resolving that Thunder Dragon effect is just absolutely really good for what it is. So I'm using Sage for that purpose. For my Thunder engine, since, you know, I don't want to play Thunder Dragon as a pure Thunder Dragon deck anymore, essentially since Colossus got banned, I'm still going to try and use it as an engine piece for Blue Eyes. So we're playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon War, 1 Thunder Dragon Hawk, and 2 Thunder Dragon Dark. I want to try and fit the OG Thunder Dragon here as well, just so I can go twin-head Thunder Dragon, but I had to make space for other cards in the deck. But this is my main Thunder engine. It's pretty much standard, as most people know. You know, you get rid of your War. Your War will add you your Dark, especially your Dark. Then you can get rid of your Dark to then search Hawk, and then Hawk can then discard itself and search. I believe that's how it goes. I haven't done it in a while. So, you can discard this card, add to your hand one of your opponent's expansion in the graveyard. Discard Spanish, you can send to graveyard, you can do graveyard. So yeah, so you send this to grave or banish it, which then gets you your Dark on the field. And if Dark is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon card. So you can either add Thunder Dragon Hawk or the next card, which is 1 copy of the Thunder Dragon Fusion. This helps you go into a Titan, essentially, and pretty much nothing else other than twin-headed Thunder Dragon if I had the OG Thunder Dragon in here, but I sadly could not fit. But the cool thing is, usually once you would get rid of your Dark was then search your Hawks, then you could discard your Hawk and push some one of your Thunder Dragons back. But you can, once you get the Dark on the board, you can then discard your Sage to target the Dark, and then get your Blue Eyes on the field from your deck, and then the Dark will resolve to add you your Hawk. So you could just add 1 additional play into that in the forms of the discard of the Sage, which then gets you a 3k body on the board and a Hawk in hand if you want to, or a Thunder Dragon Fusion in your hand. So you got lots of plays to go around that, which is really, really nice. 2 copies of the Instant Fusion. This helps you get into your Kamikaze attack or the 1000 Eyes Restrict, or any other fusion targets that you want to play in your extra deck. 1 copy of Goldsark. This is essentially here for your Thunder Dragons, but you can also just banish things like your single copies that you can't search, so you can guarantee to get them in the next 2 turns. 3 copies of Melody, pretty much one of the best cards in the deck, just because it searches your Ritual Monstrous, and then your Sage. Your Manju pretty much has 1 target that is going to be searching most of the times, and that is your Ritual spell. 2 copies of Trading. You could probably bump this up to 3 if you want to, but I wanted to fit stuff for other things. Mostly I needed to fit things for the obvious Ritual cards. 2 copies of Advanced Ritual Art and 1 copy of Chaos Form. Advanced Ritual Art is the one you're going to be searching out the most and going for the first one to use, just because you can Ritual from the deck, essentially, in terms of the target you send. And then your Chaos Form is in here for a later game, because if you still have a Chaos Max in hand, you can grab your Chaos Form and banish the Blue Eyes from your graveyard. So there is that as well. And then I played 2. I'm going to go off firstly with the Monster Reborn, pretty much standard. But there is 3 spicy spell attacks I'm playing in the deck, which you can probably guess 2 of them, well, 1 of them at the very least is the Polymerization for your Keeper of Dragon Magic. But I'm also playing 1 Dragon's Mirror. This card is absolutely nuts in this deck in the late game. You know, top deck this, and you have all of your Blue Eyes in the graveyard, which is probably not hard to do. You can get out one of your, as I said, your crazy Blue Eyes Ultimate Fusions. And 1 tech in here that I'm playing is Burst Stream of Destruction. You have 6 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your deck. 3 of them summon themselves from the hand for free, essentially, by just revealing a Blue Eyes in your hand. And you have your Sages as well, which essentially turns any monster in your deck into a Blue Eyes White Dragon. You're going to resolve this card a lot of the times, just nuking your opponent's board, and then you can swing in for a 4k direct with your Chaos Max. It's not an OTK because it's only 4k, but it's still a lot of damage, and you wipe out your opponent's board. It's a fun little spicy tech in here I'm playing. I have a really nice dual terminal version. I'm really happy to be playing it. But it's just a fun, spicy deck that I'm just playing in this deck, and I just enjoy playing it. And then to run up the deck, I'm playing 2 copies of the Ultimate Creature of Destruction, fitting in the Blue Eyes deck, but it's actually not a bad card. It just essentially gives your dragons extra protection, and also can recover itself from the graveyard, which is very, very nice. So I do like playing it. I love the artwork on here. I'd love to get someone, if any of you do these out there, I would love it if you could take this artwork and put it on a Blue Eyes Ultimate card. Like, I'd love to see that. I think I'm always a fan of artwork that shows the entire creature in a really good pose. And I think this is like one of the best Ultimate Dragon artworks out there, and it's not on an Ultimate Dragon fusion card, so it saddens me. But yeah, just a little. If any of you out there make those kind of custom cards, I would love to have one of those. Heck, I'd even pay money for it. Like, the price is good. Yeah, that's the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. I do apologize, it's a long video. If it is a long video. For the fusions, I'm playing obviously the 1 Ultimate Alternative, 1 Neo Ultimate, 1 Standard Ultimate just for a target for my Neo Ultimate, and the Twin Burst Dragon. These are the main fusions you're going to be playing. These 2 are going to be the ones you're summoning the most, because this is a contact fusion. This is probably one of the best targets for your Dragon's Mirror. And these 2 are here just for additional options. That's just the way I would probably organise them. And then for the Thunder Dragon fusions, I'm playing obviously the 1 Titan. You don't need to pay more than 1 Titan. I still put them in here, even though I can't make it. The extra deck is literally empty, and it's a very free extra deck. So the 1 twin-headed Thunder Dragon, and the 1 Kamakari attack for your instant fusion target, as well as 1 additional instant fusion target, which is the 1000 Eyes Restrict. For the synchros, we're playing the 1 Spirit, 1 Azure Eyes, 1 Starlight Spark, 1 Black Quest Moonlight, and 1 Michael the Lightsworn. These are pretty much standard synchro targets in most Blue Eyes decks. You have these 2 that you're actually going to be making properly. You can actually make these properly in the deck just because you have the level 6 Thunder Dragons. So in combo that with your Sage, you can actually synchro summon these legitly. Starlight Spark is probably the only one you're never going to be summoning legitly. You're going to be summoning that off your Spirit. And I play 2 Link monsters in the forms of just 1 Underclock Taker and 1 Hippo Shinigami. Hippo Shinigami is the attribute target I like to play in Blue Eyes just because the additional 500 buff can be quite good. But the only downside is that it does weaken your Chaos Max if you have them on the field to 36. So just bear that in mind when you're summoning that. The Underclock Taker is the generic one I like to play just because, you know, if you get that out, you can get your Chaos Max underneath it, and now you can reduce something by 4,000. So very, very nice. But that, guys, is the deck. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below what you think of this deck and what kind of variants do you play and what kind of variants would you like to see. I tried to go for some sort of a mix between 2 different variants, the Chaos Max variant and the Fusion variant. And then my own variant being the Thunder variant. Like the Thunder variant, something I really like to play ever since I saw it. It just suits very well. It actually does meld very nicely. But leave your comments down below. There will be, I feel like, the competitive variant, you could say, which is like synchro spam with link spam. It's not as playable until we get the high five. I think high five really helps make that variant a lot better. And allows you to play additional text in the deck and combos and the engines in the deck. That just makes the deck a whole lot more consistent. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure we can get maybe like Dale or Carl to do that on a later date. Probably when High Fiber comes out, or if they just use proxies. So, as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, as always, happy dueling.